that typical YouTuber. But you know what? I'm going to fucking give it, okay? Because this episode deserves it. I did the open face thumbnail. Whoa! Open mouth thumbnail. Holy shit, guys. What? Oh, my God. This episode is fucking amazing. This is everything I've ever wanted from Star Wars, right? It's just crazy that it's in the middle of a Book of Boba Fett episode.
It's middle.
It's at the end of a Book of Boba Fett episode. Never in a million years did I actually expect this. So this is positive, Joe, because what was delivered in this episode was fucking amazing. It was prime. Now, is it? It's so difficult because as a Book of Boba Fett episode, telling the story of Boba Fett, does it fucking work in that sense? No. No. Because Boba Fett is just constantly... You know who makes a cameo in this one? I think a guy named Boba Fett, I think, makes a cameo in this.
Does he? I don't know. Maybe in the background.
Is he somewhere in the episode?
In the recap.
Oh, see?
That's true. In the recap, he was there. And as you can tell, Alex looks quite different today.
Yes.
Alex is on vacation, so Ray was here when we did our board games, and I asked Ray to join us to watch this episode. And did you watch Mandalorian?
The Mandalorian, I've seen both seasons of.
Okay, and have you been watching Book of Boba Fett, or are you coming in fresh just to this episode?
I saw the first episode.
Yep.
Then I saw 5, and then this one.
Oh,
so last
5.
week's, and then this one.
Good. Well, then, actually, you're perfect. You're absolutely perfect. Because 5 is just like this. It's centered kind of like a Mandalorian, not really all about Boba Fett. And then I never expected episode 6 to be this. Now, he told us it was coming. I mean, what he said, I got to go visit someone first. But I literally thought that would be saved for Mandalorian Season 3.
Agreed.
I thought that's how it was going to kick off myself.
Right. But no, they're going hard. They're going full force. They don't give a fuck whether it's in the Boba series, the Ahsoka series, the Bo-Katan series, or the Mandalorian series. They're pushing Star Wars and fixing Star Wars and making Star Wars amazing again, in my opinion. So I'm obviously glowing about this episode. Because why? Because
a lot of amazing characters.
I guess we have to go into spoilers. Like, there's no way to not do spoilers, right?
This is a discussion. You're here to just.
Yeah.
Here's
so
talk
if you're
about
here
the
by
episode.
episode 6, you know what the fuck is. Go watch it first.
Yes.
Before we speak. Okay, are you done watching? Okay, now we can talk. So Joe, what? Who's our first fucking cameo? I guess
The Marshal.
The first cameo. Don't skip him.
Oh, that's right.
The
I
very
forgot.
first.
R2D2.
R2D2, man. Motherfucking R2D2. Back in all of his glory, doing his little humming. And then when he's like following R2D2, he's doing his little whistling like he does. I just love it. They nail, the director and writer nail it. And why? Well, why is this episode good? So
Because
good, Joe?
they are passionate. It was written by both David and John.
Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, directed by none other than Dave Filoni. And considering who is in this episode, there is no other. You knew Dave was like, no, these are my characters. And don't
touch
fuck
them.
with them.
I've got a specific vision for him.
Right,
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
a specific vision for him. And my God, the vision for him is essentially fixing Star Wars lore. Everything that the Disney sequels did to destroy it, this series is doing it justice and doing it right. For example, we get an extended training sequence of Luke Skywalker and Grogu. Little Grogu gets trained by Luke Skywalker.
Best fucking scene.
Are you kidding me? Like, this is the kind of stuff that was missing from, the Rise of Jedi, The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So they're doing it right here. And with a character we care so much more about, Grogu, rather than Rey, and just sort of fixing Star Wars. Oh no, the other Ray.
Gonna get
Ray, the other
That's all
Ray.
right, man. It's in the past.
So on Tattoo, but you're right, Joe. The episode actually starts with I forgot his name, the Marshal.
This is such really picking up.
Cobb something. The guy that
I
had
thought he called him Cobb salad.
Cobb corn on
salad?
the cob, Cobb something. And he basically has, he previously, Ray, if you didn't know this, you did watch The Mandalorian, but he owned the Boba Fett armor, and he was kind of, masquerading as sort of Boba Fett until he had to give it up. But he's now the Marshal of Freetown, and he's confronting some Pike Spice runners, right? And it's a
Spice.
just like a Western, straight out of a Western movie. Which is perfect because that's kind of what Star Wars A New Hope was, and even George Lucas kind of based it on that. And so that scene just is pitch perfect. It's badass, and it establishes Cobb as his own little, character and a badass. And then we get Djarin, who I didn't realize Din would actually get such a big part. So he wants to go and visit Grogu, giving him his armor. And he sees like all these robots building what we now know, robot ants, is the Jedi Academy that Luke is starting, and this is going to factor perfectly into the Disney sequels and do a little bit of repairing.
I wouldn't say yes, but you don't want to see that.
Right, you don't want to see what happens later.
Yeah.
We want to glory.
But it's a pivotal link.
Yes,
yeah, it's a link, but we want to wallow and frolic in the good times, and this is the good times.
Yeah.
Right at the end of a Book of Boba Fett season. It doesn't make any sense.
Who would have thought?
And it makes me sad because millions of people out there will never see this. Right, your mass movie-going audiences. Right. This is the kind of shit that we should have saw on the big screen, right? But no, it's buried within a Book of Boba Fett episode. But at least it's here. It's for us. We've seen it, and
the die-hard fans will get it.
There you go. And then hopefully we can spread the word to other people, and then they can come aboard and see it, because this is really it's done amazing. Yeah. What happens when Luke? What do we learn when Luke is training Grogu? We get a little bit of Grogu's history. What happens there, Joe?
We see 3 Jedis fighting off. What is it from the Clone Wars?
from Order 66. Order 66.
What troopers are those? They had
those are the Republic troops.
Okay,
that have been given Order 66 from the Emperor and the Great Jedi Purge. And
I thought we were gonna get a little bit more because they're trying to fend off.
More.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, are we gonna? Is this it? Are we gonna see Mace Windu up in here?
Somebody
like
save
what?
him.
Who is saving him?
Exactly.
Like, how does he get
There's
away?
another person saving him, right? Because if 3 Jedi are defending and he seems to be being held or something,
he's like kind of
there's
too
got
close
to be
up.
one other person that got
get him the fuck
Grogu
out of there.
because he looks confused.
Oh, easy!
Grogu! He's he
He's
floated
fine.
up because of the Force. May the Force be with Grogu. Anyway.
But yeah, that was a cool flashback. I like that one.
Such a cool flashback. But yeah, I'm like, man, is Mace the one that actually saved Grogu? Because he was a youngling at the Jedi Temple, or a Jedi Temple. Maybe it wasn't the one on Coruscant where everybody died and Mace was at. Maybe it was somewhere else. But anyways, but then the vision cuts off. I was like, damn, I need more of this. It was so cool to see the Republic troopers, to see the Jedi again. Just mind-blowing.
Amazing episode.
And he looks so good, Ray.
That was it. Because with him being the pivotal character, and the whole reason for the Mandalorian, which again ties back into this,
right?
I thought it was a special treat again, just coming in off the streets and seeing some of his origin story,
right? Yeah.
So again, it makes you definitely curious, like, okay, how the hell did he get out?
Yep.
Because remember, there is a Moth. Who had the Dark Blade originally, who still wants his blood for whatever reason.
True,
so again,
Moff Gideon is still out in this universe.
And there's still some
again,
unresolved issues
we're all
there,
in Mandalorian now. We're not even in Book of Boba Fett. And then Luke as a character, obviously, a stand-in which I told you before. If you didn't know this, one of the X-wing pilots from the previous episode is the stand-in actor for Luke, and they did the CGI face over
which
him.
looks so good for a TV
who's like wants to
series.
give him a ticket.
It
really did look really, really good. I thought he looked excellent. They make sure he doesn't move a whole lot.
Yeah, he doesn't jerk around fast.
Except for that training sequence, but that's a little further away, right?
Yeah.
And then we get that training sequence where he's actually doing, training. Even Luke himself remarks, well, I don't know if I'm actually really training him or if it's more he's remembering. Because remember, he was already at the Jedi Temple, perhaps already have some basic training. Yeah. So that's a really cool story element as well. Because it's Luke's journey of, how do I teach? And, and then we're going to have to go through that conflict in the comics and then in the eventual Disney sequels that fuck it up, where Luke basically fucked it up and turns into, I don't even want to think about it. What I want to think about is the goodness here. Man. Yeah. And Ahsoka Tano is there as well. And I don't know. I guess she feels kind of injected in here. I guess obviously she's going to be near the Jedi and in protecting Grogu and by Luke's side. And it was amazing to see her interacting with Luke and them having several scenes together. But basically, her purpose was completed too. She kind of almost felt like injected in there just because she could be in there and interacting with the other.
Well, she's also there to stop the Mandalorians. Like, look, he's training.
True.
We don't want him to we understand the bond between both of y'all. You're gonna fuck up everything that we've been working for.
True.
So
he'll forget all his training, get caught up in his feels with you again.
Yeah. And it's that inner conflict that we were talking about in the previous episode, where the Jedi's way is one of detachment, and one in solo training, no emotions, all this other stuff, which the Jedi ultimately were wrong. And I think eventually, see how Dave and John are trying to fix Star Wars? They're saying, in fact, Luke was right that the Jedi were wrong, because, some of that stuff is valuable. And I think what's about to happen here is it's in opposition to what Grogu is feeling, a strong attachment to Din and the Mandalorian way and loyalty and solidarity. Exactly. And so it's so perfectly put, so perfectly written that towards the end of the episode, he actually gives Grogu a choice. And boy, this is a hard-ass fucking choice, because he says he finally reveals what was in the package. What was in the package?
Chainmail.
Yeah,
This is the cutest.
So I was like, okay,
cutest thing ever. He's like, here is your armor.
It is armor. Oh, amazing. Now, of course, here's the thing. I'm so I want it to be Mandalorian solid Beskar armor, like
a little chest plate or something.
Yes, we did in our poster, and I'm actually having our artist Jeff go back and make a new one for us. Right?
We're gonna make a new one. We're gonna make a new poster, but it would have been kind of cheesy. It wouldn't have fit. I get it.
I like that. So yeah, it is a chainmail, like medieval, so he can wear it under whatever he eventually wears. Because, Din knows he's a Jedi, but this will be some extra layer of protection that you can put on your clothes and you can shine. You'll be fine. You're invulnerable. I love it. But motherfucking asshole Luke has to be like, okay, well, you can either have this or you can have this.
This is shiny, but this is shinier.
And I immediately knew what it was.
Shiny.
Yeah,
Shit. I have it downstairs. I should have brought it upstairs because I immediately saw it. I was like, that's fucking Yoda's lightsaber. And then he ignites it, and it's a tiny green blade. Yep. He's like, this was my Yoda's lightsaber. So you can either have Yoda's lightsaber or a Beskar armor. And it's like, what would you choose, Ray?
Now, see,
it's a tough decision.
For me, no, I'm Force 100%, man.
Yeah,
you can keep the tech tree. Give me the Force side.
I'm going to take Yoda's lightsaber. You taking Yoda's lightsaber? Okay. I'm going to take Yoda's lightsaber. But I think in the story and where we've been going is we've never heard of Grogu. Eventually, Luke is training a bunch of students, and if Grogu was there, we would have seen him or heard something of him because he's so powerful. And he kind of fucks up with Ben, training Ben. So I think Grogu actually chooses the Beskar armor, and maybe he shows up at the last minute in the armor to save Boba. or save Mandalorian.
See, Mando, he's got more attachment there.
Right.
Boba.
Or to help out. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting. So, do you think that they will wrap up his decision in the next episode, or do you think they're saving that for Mandalorian 3?
They have to be saving it because there's so much they got to tie up with. What was it called again? No,
left.
that's right. Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
There's so much they got to tie up on that as well, especially with the ending scene here with the explosion and stuff.
But that's the thing. You've taken the last 2 episodes where he's not even in.
Yeah.
Right. Just
it's
just
crazy.
to inject this storyline. And again,
it blows
I love
my mind.
the little flashback they did here. And with the training, they did a little nod back to Empire. So it was something for everyone, no matter where you came into this.
Yes.
And even seeing the clones again had a little nod to the Clone Wars, like you said before.
Prequel, yeah.
So this is just a little taste for everybody. They just sprinkle some of everything in this one.
But we have 1 episode left. And so it does reaffirm for me that maybe they didn't know, they didn't have a real good vision for Boba Fett.
That's what I was thinking.
And they were like, we want to do it, so we're going to do it. But then let's also take all this other
there's no
exciting
reason why
stuff.
to interject the Mandalorian in that.
It's as if they didn't have confidence in the Boba Fett story. And frankly, they're right to not have confidence because what we've seen so far with the Boba Fett story itself is not that compelling. And so they're using episode 5 and 6 to bolster that series. And that's a damn good bolster, Joe. You have to admit. You're over here 4 out of 10 from here on out. Joe, let's go ahead and.
Well, we got to talk about your favorite.
You're right.
Good part, though.
There's way more parts.
Yes, the showdown. You got to talk about the showdown.
Go ahead.
I don't know this guy's name. I know you do. The only reason I know him is because of the dad badge.
Okay, so hold on. Let me set this up right.
The dad badge.
So
dad badge.
Din, I always struggle with his name. Din Djarin goes to Boba Fett's palace about more than halfway through the episode. I'm like, oh my god, now we got to get to the Boba Fett part. So he shows up, and then Boba Fett makes an appearance in his own cameo in his own show, and he's like, all right, we need muscle. They're still talking about needing muscle. Obviously, Din is not enough, so Din says, I got that covered, don't worry. So then he flies off, and then Joe, I swear to God, I thought that because he flew by the Jawa sandcrawler and it had the skull on it, I was like,
says he needed muscle.
Is he gonna get an army of Jawas? And then we got the that would have been fucking hilarious. But no, it teased me. It's just showing how Din is affecting the Star Wars universe. It's like a good RPG, right?
Like, hey, buddy.
Where it's like, oh, you chose this path, you helped out the
most
Jawas.
Unlikely places.
Exactly.
Well, now they'll come back and help.
Yep.
Perfect. So, but actually, he doesn't choose for that help. He does do the town of Freetown is what they call it, and he asks for the marshal's help and sort of these frontiersmen, rough and tough, and they probably know how to handle themselves and guns because they're literally out in the fringes. And they seem, well, you city folk. Again, we do that
city
Western.
problems.
That's
We don't give a shit about that.
Right.
Keep your problems over there.
He's got a hot-headed deputy with him who tries to give Din some problems. He ain't for sale. He ain't for sale. That's right.
I bet you asked you.
This is so good.
Bitch,
all
who the
around.
fuck asked you?
Comedy.
Get the fuck. And he, in fact, the marshal's like, I got this.
Yeah.
Shut up. Yeah. And unfortunately, that motherfucker ends up getting him killed.
Oh, you already
because
knew.
So, all right. So he asks for his help. He goes, okay, call everybody in. I'm gonna have a meeting, and we're gonna, we might want to do this. But the town is like, well, why would we want to do this? This is not our fight. Just then, I saw a figure walking in the distance, and I immediately was like, okay, this is clearly not Din. It's clearly not Boba. It has to be the villain or the main antagonist of the Pikes. Because it can't just simply be a bunch of generic Pikes and we don't fucking know. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, that is motherfucking Cad Bane. We are about to get a live-action Cad Bane. And as he's walking into frame, I'm thinking to myself, what a motherfucking perfect introduction. I turn to Joe and I say, Joe, if that's who I think it is, that marshal, he's fucking dead. And Joe because Joe had seen
He's
the
like,
episode.
well, he starts turning around. He's like, yep, you know who it is. You know who it is.
I knew who it was. And it's this great fucking thing for people who have seen the Clone Wars and people who have seen the animations and Dave Filoni stuff. And it's Cad Bane. It's Cad Bane in He's perfect. Voice is perfect.
Is amazing.
Eyes are so dangerous looking. He is a bounty hunter. And when Boba is out of action, he's probably the galaxy's most dangerous bounty hunter.
Oh, he is right now.
Yeah, and I told Joe that this was a lost episode, an episode that was never filmed, where Boba and him actually have a confrontation.
That would have been a cool one.
I don't know if it had to do with the little hole,
the dent
in it. I think that may have come from Cad Bane, or it was one possibility that it was Cad Bane, and they were going to have a fight, and they never got to do that. Well, Dave's in charge. John's in charge.
Redemption.
We're gonna fucking do it in live action. Oh my god, dude! This episode blew me the fuck away, and I'm like, dude, if you're gonna have an ultimate villain to fight, it's so cool that it's Cad Bane. You got Bounty Hunter Boba, Bounty Hunter Cad Bane, and this is an opportunity for Boba to redeem himself. Obviously, we've been calling him, unfortunately, Ray. He's a bit of a pushover, a bit of a bitch. Yeah. And you can even see it in this, the episode recap. You guys, please, don't
stay neutral.
Stay neutral. Don't interfere. I'll handle all this.
And I'm like,
he should already have the crime.
And this was the galaxy's most badass bounty hunter.
But the funny part is like, don't worry, your cantina is under my protection. And then last scene, explosion. Well, shit, I didn't protect it like I said I was.
About that. Right, I forgot about that. So that's yet another thing.
That's your shitty-ass protection,
that
Boba Fett.
Boba look
really?
Weird.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't want your protection.
Right, exactly. And now that Boba's in charge, if Boba ends up in charge, I don't even know if he deserves it, frankly, because Din doing all the work, Fennec doing all the work,
doing all the recruiting.
Yeah, and so, anyways, okay, so let's get back on track. So yeah, the bomb takes that out, and we're going to have a conflict. Meanwhile, Grogu has to make a decision between the Yoda's lightsaber and the Mandalorian. And I think ultimately he'll choose the Beskar armor and go back to the Mandalorian. Yeah. So let's go to final verdicts.
Final verdicts for me.
Start with Joe.
This is gonna be like a 10 territory. This is an amazing episode, but again, like with the book of Boba Fett and everything, it just feels like the Mandalorian once again hijacked this whole TV series. And we got one more episode. I don't think
fuck?
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be enough to redeem Boba Fett. Like
Boba
this
Fett,
whole series as a whole, I think it's still gonna be mediocre at best.
No.
But
the episode, I think the episode's going to be fucking amazing.
Like that,
but it's not going to be able to redeem Boba Fett in time.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It
it's
may
not.
save the episode, but not the series.
Yes.
At least from the main character's point of view.
Exactly, Ray. So you're right. These things have been saving the individual episodes, but not the series as a whole.
Yeah, but this episode for me was a 10. There's so much going on. There's like Ray was saying, there's a little bit of everything, or a little bit of something for everyone. You get some backstory, some lore with Grogu's.
As Star Wars
and
fans,
some more stuff. The training was so cute.
Luke, the training, the cuteness from Grogu.
It was great. It was a great watch. I watched it twice.
Perfect. Yeah. I want to watch it a third time. What do you think, Ray? What would you give it?
Now, for me, like I said, I love the fact that it had a lot of Easter eggs for people. I love the fact that I finally got to see some of Grogu's backstory, which I've always been curious about.
Yep.
But, and chat is going to hate me for this.
Okay.
Someone who's never seen the Clone Wars.
Right.
And someone who's never seen... No, and someone who's
Joe
never
hasn't seen it either.
Someone who's never seen the animations.
Correct.
I didn't know who Cad Bane was.
Yeah.
I saw him walk up, and I'm thinking it's Nico from Star Wars: The Old Republic because the way he has the same hat and the same long coat. I was like, holy shit, is Nico going to be a bad guy in this?
Yeah.
Because he's my bitch.
Yeah.
Seeing him come in here, and I was like, okay, but as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, if he's going after the sheriff or the marshal, I was like, and as soon as you turned around and said the marshal's dead, I'm like, okay, so now I don't know who this is, but now I'm more engrossed.
Yeah.
And I was like, it wasn't a spoiler, but now I just want to see how and why this plays out. But he never gave his name, no matter how many times he asked for it. But I was like, okay, so that's obviously something for the deep hardcore fans who've seen, like you said, who've seen literally
So
everything, and it
you
makes
could tell I'm
sense
fucking
because
happy
it
as
still
shit.
has some of that sprinkle that everyone who loves the
But
series
for,
has.
but for non-fans and for mass audiences who haven't watched all of the Clone Wars and know who Cad Bane is and know who all these other
right, but
Ahsoka
between
and all
the
these
last
people.
episode and this is a solid 7 from me, and that's going off, like I said, not knowing a good third of the episode.
Right.
It would probably be 9 or 10 for me as well, but not knowing that lore, but just seeing it play out in real time, I was like, okay, so this is a new angle for me to get interested in. I was this is kind of badass right here because I'm seeing shit, not knowing what it is, but watching it play out, I was like, okay, so obviously this dude's a badass. Who's going to handle him? Is it going to be Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be the Mandalorian to come in to avenge this guy?
For sure.
And, of course, get the townspeople in. So, for me, high 7.
Okay. I'm going to go with a 10 out of 10. I think y'all fucking estimated that already. You know, for me, it doesn't have to be. I asked Joe, is there a lot of action in this episode? And, you know, no, there's, you know, a lot of character development.
Yeah.
But, you know, to be fair to Ray, because I'm sure we're getting downvoted as hell for a 7 out of 10 in quite possibly the most exciting episode, it is because it is out of place in a Book of Boba Fett series.
Big time.
And then also we are developing characters that we wish have been developed in the movies and then further developed with new interesting directions to take the Star Wars lore. And I think that there may not be a lot of action in this episode, but all of the nostalgia berries, all of the character development, all of the cameos and reveals really make for a strong episode for hardcore Star Wars fans that are very connected into the lore and have been hurt. I've been hurt by Star Wars and let down. And I think, and I am boosting the episode up, right? Because I think that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni know what it
the
takes.
fans want.
Not only know what the fans want, but to honor Star Wars in the right way.
To do it in a way that makes sense.
And do it in a way that makes sense. And notice how, you know, you can kind of see where it's going, but at the same time, it's just a feel good. And, you know, and you don't need to subvert expectations to surprise people, you know. And it's just really, really fucking solid. And I do think that the next episode is going to be amazing because there has to be a confrontation between... Now, let me say this. I totally saw Din become Boba Fett. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
When he went back to Boba Fett's palace and Boba looked at him, or it was Fennec that looked at him, or somebody looked at him, it was Boba. And Din did this.
Gave the nod.
The nod is fucking the real Boba Fett from all those years ago in the original. He would give the nod.
Like no
and then Boba
disintegration.
nods back at him, right? And I'm like, Din is Boba. Din is the Boba that we need. You know, it may not be the Boba we have, but it's the Boba we need.
The sad part is, too, we're still trying to develop a character for Boba Fett. But they're like, nah, fuck it. These two are going to get hijacked. I was like, but I still want to know more about Boba Fett. Like, even though, it's not going where I wanted to, at least have the guts to continue this shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what I was saying is, I was setting that up because then I said, we have to have a confrontation between Cad Bane and Boba Fett, but you're almost like, well, is it going to be the Mandalorian? That idea is in your head because of how poorly they've done Boba Fett. It obviously has to be Boba Fett. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, this is how they intended it. We're getting the story that we missed in the animations, and it's going to be Boba Fett that takes him out, I think. Anyways, the director for the next episode is...
Bryce. No?
Oh, if it
Robert Rodriguez.
No! The more
So
I've
this
been,
is
Robert
going to be
Rodriguez-
action-packed.
Yeah, it's going to be action-packed. Now, Robert
did
did great in The Mandalorian. That's why he's excited. But so far, we've looked at the episodes he's directed here in the Book of Boba Fett, and they've been some of the worst.
So
that's
I'm
why
glad
Joe
those
was
are the
like,
3
no!
that I missed.
Yep, the ones you missed.
And this one has to be like a real home run or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if this is the season finale, you're expecting the climax of all of this coming together.
So what's going to happen, Joe? They're going to resolve what has to be resolved in this episode for you to... this next episode for you to be satisfied with the series?
They don't have enough time. They should have like.
What has to resolve?
What has to
Fucking tell me.
happen? All right, either fucking Boba Fett's like, you know what? I'm tired of fucking trying to rule with respect. I'm just gonna go crazy and fucking kill every motherfucker. Done.
That's the only way you're.
Yes.
Now it's
But
time
that's
for
not.
fear.
That's clearly not what's gonna happen. Okay.
He's gonna shoot and be like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shoot you."
Oh, Cad Bane. I'm sorry, Cad.
I don't know what. There's
right.
now, like I said, there's no redeeming qualities that he.
Yeah.
I don't know what unless he does something crazy.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
probably won't like
so
it.
for me, in order for the series to be resolved, I need Boba to be the one to kill Cad Bane at the very least.
Maybe accidentally.
Boba, where? Boba, where? It'll be Cad, where? But Cad has no jetpack, so he can't do that.
I don't know.
Damn,
they did
Joe.
my boy
He
dirty.
has, I know. He has to kill Cad Bane. And he has to kill him in a brutal way. See, even Grogu agrees with me. He has to kill him in a badass, most brutal way.
But it's
he
Disney.
cannot have Din's help. He cannot have Din's exactly. But Cad killed the Marshal in a badass way, like just an evil badass way. But Din cannot help Boba in killing Cad.
No,
No,
he can't.
because that's going to take that away from Boba.
It's going to emasculate him further.
Exactly, emasculate him further.
He's already been neutered. I mean, just let him
Yeah.
have the twig and two berries, you know.
Exactly. So in order to make it a satisfying Boba Fett series, but I will say this, Grogu, please. He's going crazy. I don't know if
I
you
want
can hear
more
him.
screen time.
Yeah, it's good. He wants more screen. You will get it in The Mandalorian Season 3. Unless, the way this has been going, Grogu's going to show up in the armor. He's going to show up both Din and fucking Boba, and he's going to take out Cad Bane.
I'll allow it.
That's how it's... You'll allow it?
Allow it.
Fucking Luke Skywalker shows up with his green saber and kills Cad Bane. Fucking anything would be more exciting than probably what we're about to get, which is Boba shoots and kills Cad Bane in a Western-style standoff, is what I'm thinking. Anyways,
I knew.
I knew. Let's say in the middle of the street.
I knew.
this needs to be a fucking 2-hour episode.
It has to
really,
be because,
but
like,
it's
what are they
not
gonna do?
be.
Is like, hey, remember that place you said you were gonna protect? That shit blew up.
That pile of ash over there.
I don't know if I want to fight
Hey,
next to you, man.
So yeah, he can't be held by Fennec. He can't be held by Din. He can't be held by Grogu. He can't be held by Luke. He can't be held by Ahsoka. He's got to do it on his own.
Yeah.
And then maybe there's a tiny bit of redemption there. And then total redemption would be everybody who, this is for Joe, everybody who stayed neutral. Boba then, their scenes, and they go one scene at a time. Just like fucking taking
Or like,
everybody
hey, thank
out.
you so much. Go ahead and go get your gold. It's in this room.
Right.
Rancor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen because it would then go against the character arc that they
there
seem
is
to be
no-
building.
I don't-
There's a small percent chance they might do it. 5% chance.
Well, they
But
gotta- they
think
gotta
OJ
use
said it
Rancor
right
or
when
something.
But OJ said it right in one word.
That's a good point.
Disney.
Yeah.
Disney. Yeah. Well,
I mean, not to bring everybody
no,
down.
you're right. You're right. In the brutal, evil, fuck all y'all way.
In the corporate way.
In the corporate way, we are as Alex would say, the friendship barge one. Instead of slave one, it's friendship barge one. So I guess
I don't know.
that's what we're headed for. I know, Ray, that this episode is completely taken out of context for you, but how do you think, what would be a satisfying conclusion with only one episode left?
Like I said, it's not the book of the Mandalorian. It's not
Right.
the book of Grogu. Boba has to come back
Yep.
in a huge way,
Yeah.
right all
Huge.
these wrongs. And if they want to continue this again, he needs to set up past the cliffhanger to have a reason, a big reason that people want to come back for season
Right.
2.
Yeah, that's a good, do you think season 2, Joe, is going to happen? No.
No. Unfortunately,
But
no.
Joe, like, we have one episode left, and it feels like they.
Even though, like,
Doesn't it
yeah,
feel
this
like
is gonna
they
be
want
amazing
another
though, but like, it's not gonna save it from still being past mediocre.
Okay, let me tell you how many times Cad Bane probably should have already died and hasn't died, and then they're just gonna wrap him up in a single fucking episode, and he's gonna die to Boba Fett. That's gonna feel kind of cheap for Cad Bane. So I might actually side with Ray here, thinking that they're trying to get more episodes
But are
out
you
of.
really interested in
No,
it,
I'm
though?
not.
Okay.
Maybe it rolls over into Mandalorian season 3, and Boba starts making cameos in Mandalorian season 3, just like Din was making cameos in Book of Boba Fett,
Hijack.
and then we hijack that series. But we're gonna be like, oh God, no, I don't know. But maybe since it's reversed and he has been in a badass in Mandalorian 3, he will. In Mandalorian 2, he will continue to be a badass in Mandalorian 3. I don't know. It does seem like you need more than
There's
one
a
episode.
there's a lot
right.
going on. I don't know.
All right.
It's too much.
Well, that's it from us. One of the best episodes of Star Wars content ever, in my opinion.
That was great.
Yes, not a lot of fighting. Yes, mostly talking. Yes, just kind of nostalgic reveals. But hey, I am a fucking
Lore's
sucker.
great. It's
I'm a
Lore
sucker
stuff.
for that. And hopefully it'll pay off. And I honestly cannot wait. It's almost like a train wreck. Like you're so curious.
That's
You're
what I'm saying,
wincing,
like,
but
alright,
you're
what's-
still looking.
Like, let's see what happens.
See what happens on this next episode. Will Boba be a badass by
What
the
would
end
Grogu
of Book of Boba Fett?
choose?
Are they going to continue the Book of Boba Fett series in a season 2? Or instead, will the plot lines of Book of Boba Fett continue into Mandalorian season 3? We'll have to see. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Ray for filling
Yeah,
in.
thank
for
you, Ray, for
Alex
joining us.
For joining us.
Thanks,
And
random guy off the
please,
street.
please be kind, hardcore Star Wars fans, to Ray for his verdict. And I know
I haven't seen
it's
any of the
coming.
Clone Wars. I
Well,
know.
I'm
I
just
know.
saying.
Yeah, without a lot of the context of previous characters, it's going to be different. So
it is what it
I
is. I can take it.
appreciate different perspectives. You can take it? Good.
take
Okay. I love Ray, and I love Joe, and I love the Angry Joe Show. Thank you guys so much for dropping by, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.